Hello.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Camila. How are you? Okay, I'm also calling Diana, Lauren. I'm with Camila, right?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna just write down your name. Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
We also have. Well, we're supposed to have Diana, but they're not joining our conversation. Not a problem. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna please ask you to mute your microphone as I'm talking. And whenever I ask you something, you can unmute yourself and answer.
Okay, teacher.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here's my whiteboard. And as you know, today we have a CEPT lesson. We're gonna do 10 weeks. This is the first week. And today's week is about listening. The 4 skills that the exam, the CEPT, evaluates are listening, writing, reading, and speaking. So before we start, let's do kind of a warm-up. And I'd like you to tell me, Camila, your experience with the CEPT exam. If you've already taken it, how good you are with listening, and so on.
I don't know, when I begin to study in the UNAT in the second semester. Yes, I did the CEPT exam. I don't know if I'm not wrong. It's in the with the Cambridge, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the listening, I had a B1 level, in a writing A2, and in the speaking was B1 too. But in the end, in this moment I lose the results. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say resultados? Yes, the results
Results. Mm-hmm.
of the exam. I lost. I don't know where is it. Um, just in the end of the exam, the say that I am in A2 level.
In what?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
A2. A2
A2 in what? Writing?
in writing. In the
Ah.
listening B1, and in speaking B1. But
Mm.
I don't know, because so the things that I can see, or the thing that I can understand from the exam is like in totally is like a A2.
Mm.
It's like I understand, but I don't know if it's correct.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, that gives me enough information. Thank you for that. So,
Okay.
let's start by addressing some of your ideas. So, yeah, the CEPT exam. Well, first, I call it the CEPT because if you Google it, uh, my advice is to always Google whatever you want to know about the exam. Give me just 1 second because someone's writing. Oh, Lauren. Hello, Lauren. Thank you for joining. Hello. Okay. So let's
Hi,
go back.
did you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well. So,
Okay,
uh,
teacher, sorry for my lateness.
Don't worry, it's fine. We were just starting. So please mute your microphone, and I'm gonna give you some summary of what we just talked. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So this is a lesson for the CEPT exam. I call it the CEPT exam because if you Google it, you will always find answers if you write the CEPT exam. Here in this university, for some reason, they like to call it the CEPT because, well, what is C? C is Cambridge. What is E? For English. P, placement. T is because it's a test. And this is an online exam. We already know it's online. However, in this university, they add the O, maybe because it's easier to pronounce that way. But my suggestion is to keep Googling as it was the CEPT exam, because you're gonna find more advices if you have trouble with, for example, Camila was just saying, with writing. Now, in today's class, we're gonna talk about listening. Yes, we're gonna address writing and speaking, but that's gonna be in the following weeks. In today's class, it's just gonna be about listening. Listening. So what can we say about the CEPT exam about listening? Well, the CEPT, mostly, and I will say 90% of the time, of the audio files that you're gonna listen are about reservations. What is that? It's usually one person talking, hey, I need to make a reservation because I'd like to watch this movie. So maybe movies. 2, I like to make a reservation because I'm going on vacations and I need to book a hotel. And so on. We have restaurants, parking lots, and so on. What do these have in common? These have in common that they are all about reservation. And I say this is 90% of the time, it's gonna be about that. So the way I thought about this lesson is that if you wanna be a good listener, you need to have good vocabulary. And if you wanna score high in that test, you need to have good vocabulary in the topic of reservations. How do you acquire better vocabulary? Well, naturally, and most research have shown that you get better vocabulary if you start reading. Let me write it. Start reading. And I don't mean any type of reading. I mean literature. Do you want to be a good listener? You have to read literature. If you've never read literature or any books in English, what's a good book to start with? I always suggest Harry Potter. Why? Because most people already know the movie. So when you're reading Harry Potter, especially the first book, which is called The Sorcerer's Stone, you're gonna be able to relate what's the vocabulary with the actions that you previously saw in the movies. And it's a fun book. It's about adventure. There are some jokes. It's gonna keep you entertained. It's not very hard to read. You're gonna acquire new vocabulary, and most importantly, you're gonna acquire vocabulary where there's 1 and 2 people talking. talking. How do we call that? We call those dialogues. Okay, I got one text on Skype. Reading about topics of listening as well. No, reading about novels. About books. For example, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. But that's I'm sorry. That's Spanish. We want to improve our listening skills. We need to read in English. So read novels in English. My suggestion was read Harry Potter because Harry Potter is fun. Most people know it. And also it's very easy to find. If you Google Harry Potter first book, you're gonna find it for free. And it's very easy to find in general. So start reading a novel. That's what it said. By that. So, that's gonna improve your listening because you're gonna acquire more vocabulary. All right. If you are here just for to get a higher score in the CEPT, start reading. It's my main and most important advice. Reading novels. However, as today's topic is about listening, well, I have also planned to address some vocabulary on the topic of listening, especially reservations, since that exam is mostly about reservations. So, the dynamic that I am proposing for today is that I'm gonna write a word or well, yeah, it's a word, but it has maybe multiple meanings. So I'm gonna write the word, and you guys are gonna tell me what does it mean or how can you correlate it. So the most important word according to reservations is book. So Lauren, do you know what book means in the sense of reservations?
Could you repeat me the question, teacher?
Yeah. Do you know what book means?
Book?
In reservations.
No, teacher.
Okay.
Maybe
So,
maybe it's the guide,
no.
the book guide.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. And how about you, Camila? Do you know what's book in reservations?
So, following the topics or the idea that you gave us and the reservations, you talk about the park love or the hotels, no, something like that. We need to
No.
read books like with these topics, right?
I'm gonna
Or
give
not?
you a better example. So, what if I say
Uh-huh.
I need to book a ticket? What does book mean in this sentence? I need to book a ticket.
I need to book a ticket.
Is a book about traveling, maybe?
All right.
Or
So
yes?
book is the verb for reservations. In Spanish
I
is
need to book a ticket.
necesito reservar un tiquete. So in English, we don't say I need to reserve a ticket. We never say that. We use book because book is the verb for reservation. So book is the verb for reservation. Book means reservation.
Oh,
That is
okay.
that is the most important verb of in the sense of reservations.
Excuse me. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So, you are explaining us that we have to change. For example, I need to reserve a ticket is incorrect, is wrong, right? We have to say I need to book a ticket, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I need to
Okay.
book. book is used for instead of using reservation.
Because
And
notice,
this is
It's
just
used book.
when we are going to make a reservation about anything.
this is when you need to use reservation as a verb, as an action. Because reservation is not a verb. Reservation is a noun.
It's a noun.
Ah,
So,
okay.
It's reservar.
yes,
And so, for
To
exactly.
example,
reserve.
Reservar.
if we say I need to book a hall, yes, a hotel,
Take a
excuse me.
hotel.
Excellent example. I
Yes.
need to book a hotel.
Ah,
I need to book a room. Very good example.
okay.
I need
Mhm.
Okay.
to book a food meal.
I need to book a table
Yes,
in
a
that
night
case,
in table in any restaurant, right?
in the sense of a restaurant. Very good.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
guys.
teacher.
So I see that you
For
got,
for,
yeah?
for example, when a person is gonna gonna to visit a tourist place.
hmm
For example, a desert.
In that case, it will be,
In this case, the
for
person
example,
need
if it
to
was a safari, I need to book a ticket for a safari. So you get the
Teacher,
idea.
if it's possible, for example, use to for when we need to reserve a cake, I need to book a cake. Yes or no?
No,
In this case, not. It's just for.
not really, because um, well, cake in that sense, you are not reserving uh, an object. You are reserving
And
the
so,
time.
how is this? How it is in this situation? How we have the correct way to say it? What is? Por
Can you?
ejemplo, cuando yo quiero decir, mira, necesito hacer un pedido de tal pastel.
So you can say, I need to have a cake by Monday
Okay.
or
Okay.
by
Perfect.
Saturday. hmm
Okay, teacher.
So book. This is a very good topic that you just introduced, Camila. Is used for situations like going to a hotel, going to a park, going to a movie. It is not used, and let me write it in red, for objects
or go or going to
like a cake.
a tourist place. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
well,
example, a travel agency.
in that case, it will be a situation, so you can use book. hmm So in that sense, will be I need to book a trip to Greece, or I need to book a trip to Colombia or Costa Rica. All right, so that's the main idea behind book. It's a verb, and it's the most important verb that you're gonna have to use for the CEPT exam. Then we have check in. Check in. And Loren or Camila, do you know what check in means?
What does mean checking?
Yeah.
It's when you arrive to the
I
hotel.
think
I think no.
Go ahead, Camila.
It's when we arrive to the hotel and the check-in is the first part that we're there in the hotel in the reception. I don't know. And the other, for example, I can see like a lot of people using for I don't know for review or for seeing something, but I don't know if this is correct.
Yeah, it is correct. The first example that you gave me. So it's when we arrive to somewhere. For example, if I arrive to a hotel, I need to say, "Hey, my name is David. This is my ID. Is 1234, and I'm gonna be staying here for 7 days. So check-in is the action to when we arrive somewhere.
The action, what did you say? The example,
Like, for example, a
teacher.
hotel. Yeah. A hotel, a motel, a restaurant, a flight as well. Flight. So let me give you an example. I need to check in this hotel for 7 days. I need to check in my flight because I'm gonna fly from Colombia to United States. So when we talk about check-in, it's just giving information about yourself to let something happen. In that case, to let, for example, the reservation of the hotel happen, the reservation of your flight happen. That is check-in. Now we also have another word, and that is related to book. That is fully booked. Fully booked. So book is a reservation. What does fully booked mean? Lauren, help me with that. Fully booked.
Fully booked
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, means taking into account the example that you give us before. I think fully booked is when the person has made a reservation completely.
All right, think about the example. The hotel is fully booked.
The hotel
What does that mean?
is the hotel is
Okay, don't worry about that.
I think is there is not a space
Perfect.
for
There is
more
no...
people.
Exactly. There is no more... there is no more space, yeah? But
Space.
since we're talking about a hotel, we can say there are no more rooms. There are no more rooms
Room.
what? Available. So I cannot sleep in that
Well,
hotel because it's fully booked. All right,
well,
that
I
is...
didn't know about that.
Yeah, that is in the case of booked. Now there's another one that is very important, and I guess Lauren and Camila, you guys are from Colombia, right?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
So
teacher.
About me,
in English, when we talk about motel, it doesn't mean the same thing when we think about a motel in Colombia. A motel is a short for motor hotel. Hotel. And where do we find a motel in the United States? Usually, you find those by the driveways. By the driveways.
I couldn't hear you very well, teacher. What did you say?
So a motel is a short for motor hotel. And they're not very luxury. They're very inexpensive. And you find those by the driveways. So en la carretera. That is a motel in English. That is for that word. Then we also have a hostel.
Oh,
Yes, teacher. I and so Like
In
the
English is motor hotel in English.
Yeah, that is short for motel.
okay.
Mm, or driveways.
Yeah, driveways is carretera. Carretera cuando uno va a viajar y
Mhm.
usualmente se encuentra un hotel para la gente que maneja camión. So in United States, you also have those hotels that are for people who drive trucks, and they are called motels. That's the reason why
Oh,
it's called motel.
the word
Motor hotel.
is motor hotel.
That's right. We also have hostels, and hostels are shared rooms. Shared rooms. That means if you book a room, you're gonna have to sleep with a stranger, of course, in different beds. Usually, each room has about 5 to 10 beds that are all together. So that's the hostel. And well, in the case of the United States, those are very, very cheap, very inexpensive. You don't have to pay as much money as a motel or a hotel. A hotel is the luxury version of all the three.
teacher, I have a question. Excuse me. When you brought there is more space. Is if you say ahí estarías diciendo que hay más espacio o ahí dices que no hay más espacio, porque si es no más espacio no sería there isn't more place, more space.
In the case of in the case of
Yeah,
fully booked, right?
yeah. I have this question about the there
Hmm.
is in a positive, there isn't is in a negative.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot to
Okay.
write there is no more
Yes, because I
for
feel
some
confused.
reason.
There
Thank
is
you
no
for
more
addressing
place.
that. I was supposed to write there is no more space. So fully booked,
Okay.
even if you don't have a negative word in this phrase, it's a negative statement. Why is negative? Because
Okay.
there's no more space for you.
Okay.
Fully booked. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hotel. Okay, as I was saying, hotel is the luxury version of all the
Teacher,
luxury.
I had a question about hostel. I couldn't hear you very well. What does mean hostel?
Hostel is a place where you sleep in shared rooms. Shared rooms, that means there is a bed where you sleep, but you're also sleeping with more people. For example, 5 more people. So there are 5 more beds within your room. You're sharing the room. That's a hostel.
Is when the rooms each are with others?
Yes, cuando mucha gente duerme en una sola habitación.
Mm,
For
okay.
example, in Colombia, we know that like with the name like resident, but in Cali there are few hostels, like you say, teacher.
Yeah, it's very strange that in Colombia we don't have so much hostels because this
Mhm.
is more of a thing from the United States and Europe. Um,
Here there are residents. Yes, residents, residencias.
yes, I have heard that term, but I'm not sure what is a residence. Is that a hotel?
It's like a hostel, and it's a combination between hostel and motel.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yes.
it's the first time
In
It's
this
I hear that.
case, in hostel, teacher means with, for example, uh, when there are students, right?
Yeah,
Share the same
if you're
rooms.
a student, maybe you don't have as much money, so you have to pay for a hostel. Usually, uh, a hostel is for single people that don't worry about sharing the room with her wife or with her kids. If you're alone, you probably will get a hostel.
or for the tourist. Here is for the tourist.
Exactly. And in the case of Colombia, hostels are popular for the Americans, for the Europeans. But in the case of Colombia, it's not very popular to sleep in a hostel. All right, that is the three meanings that we have for places to sleep. And I have another word right here. This is the final one, and it's pay-per-view. It's a word that we get a lot in that exam, the CEPT exam. So it's pay
Paper
per
book.
view.
I have heard that, but I don't remember.
So pay-per-view is in the case when you go to a hotel, you might find a television. And usually that television has, let's say, 100 channels. But let's say you want to watch a movie and it's in the, I don't know, Fox channel, and they're presenting Harry Potter. You have to pay for that movie, and they call that pay-per-view, because you're paying for your view only one time. So I can summarize that phrase as paying for your view. Usually it's a movie. Okay, and that's it. Now it's time to move to the real deal. We're gonna find out more about this within the sense of the exam. I'm gonna open this, and this is a practice test where you're gonna find an audio file, and based on that audio file you have to answer some questions. So I'm not gonna teach you how to answer correct answers, but there's a structure to follow. So what's the structure? Let me go back to the whiteboard. You're gonna understand that in just a moment. So the structure of listening. First, you encounter an audio file. Second, the advice is to take a look on the questions. After I taken a look on the questions, I can listen to the audio file. Listen to the audio file. I'm going to write audio file, just AF. And after that, I can answer the questions. Answer the questions. So first, there's an audio file, yeah, but we're not gonna hit play right there. First, it's important to take a look at the questions to see what the questions are gonna be about. So that's second, take a look at the questions. Number 3, listen to the audio file. So right now, we know what the questions are about, so it's time to listen to the audio file. Finally, as the audio file has finished, we have to answer the questions. So in that case, it will be here. Let me go back. Here's the audio file. First, I read what are the questions about. So here I have hotel information. Okay, I need to fill in some information about someone checking in a hotel. It is asking me for the length of the stay, the ages of the children, rooms available, price inclusive, the names, and so on. So I know that I have to fill in some information about someone checking in a hotel. So according to the structure, it says that I first take a look at that and then I hit play. But be careful, because according to the CEPT exam, every question is gonna be shown at the same time of the listening. So let's say if I hit play right now, in the first second, you're gonna be probably hear the answer of this one, the name of the accommodation, the name of the hotel. Then as time goes by, I'm gonna be able to hear this answer, the length of the stay, the ages of the children, and so on. I'm gonna give you an example about that. So I'm gonna share my audio right now.
The question, the questions, the answer of the questions uh, are in the same order that I am listening.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Oh, I'm trying here to share my audio, but I don't have the option. So
For
this is what we're gonna
example,
do. I'm gonna share my link on Skype. And guys, girls, I'm sorry. Please open that link and listen to the audio file as you're answering the questions.
how many times can listen the audio on the English exam?
You can listen to the audio 2 times. On the first try, it is recommended that you answer the questions as you're listening to the audio file. So that means at the same time, hit play and start answering. All right. On the second time is just for reviewing to make sure that your answers are correct.
Okay.
So I want to give you just an example of the structure of that exam. So please hit play and take a look on a couple of answers. It doesn't have to be all, maybe the first 3. And you're gonna see one is after the other according to the audio file. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes for that. You don't have to answer all the tests, don't worry. Just get a look on how the audio works. Okay, I'm gonna be silent for now.
Okay.
Okay, girls. So time's over. If you're listening to the audio still, please hit on pause, and we're gonna have a little discussion on that test. So hit on pause, stop doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna go back to share my screen.
What did you say, teacher? I was listening to the audio.
So please pause the audio and stop the test. The time is over. And I'm gonna share my screen, I'm sharing it, and we're gonna have a discussion on the dynamic of the test. Now this is the final part, and it's the dynamic of the test. So as you were able to see, the audio is gonna present information in an orderly manner. So information is presented like this. To that, for example, first question, second question, third question. It's gonna be presented like that. So that's why important to take a look on the questions before hitting play. What we found about that also was that, well, in the case of vocabulary, there's probably some words that are new for you. I don't know, for example, price inclusive, or length of stay, accommodation. So this is why important to read. We're gonna improve our vocabulary if we read. Now let's make a quick summary of today's lesson. Summary. How will I improve my listening skills? My first suggestion, start reading a book. Why? Because you need to acquire more vocabulary. Second, remember about the structure of the exam. First, you're gonna have the questions that you need to take a look on those, and then hit play. So first, take a look. The questions, and then hit play. All right, that'll be everything for today's lesson. Now is the time. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna answer them.
Teacher, could you repeat the second information that you say summary?
Of the summary, okay. So the summary of is practically what we did today. And so my first advice is start reading a book. Okay, start reading a book. The second one is take a look on the question and then hit play. And I'll write it. Because most people hit play first before reading the questions. So it's important to read the questions before listening to the audio.
First, take a book on the question.
Take a look. A look. All right, Lauren. Well, and Camila.
Yeah. Book a look. Sorry, means practice exercise.
No, take a look means échele un ojo a las preguntas antes de darle play al audio.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate your attendance, girls. And I'll see you on the next lesson. I hope you have a nice day. This is Mike. Goodbye. And take care.
Teacher. I have a question.
Yeah.
We have to book a place in the list when in the UNAT when
Yes.
they send by the email, or we can inside on Saturday. That's it.
No, every week you need to
Uh-huh.
book a place. And that
Okay.
was a good example of the word.
Okay, teacher. Okay, teacher. Thank you so much for your class today.
No problem. It was my pleasure, and thank you for your attendance.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you,
See you the
teacher.
next Saturday.
Goodbye. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.